All right, get ready, class. It's time for Retirement Prep 101 with the expert Marcus Warren of Warren Wealth Management. Warren Wealth Management handles all things retirement, whether it be investment management, financial, taxes, you do it all. Yeah, if you would, maybe a little bit of an overview of the services you cover. It's all about a successful retirement, right?
Yeah, and that's what we do, retirement planning. We're a fiduciary financial planning firm that we focus on investment management because you need investments that are going to grow before you hit retirement and then once you're retired. But then we also, which I think is where the value is most added, is we specialize in tax planning. We have tax enrolled agents on staff. I'm an enrolled agent, tax expert. And so one of the biggest expenses when someone retires is healthcare and then also taxes. And you have to have a tax plan to have a full financial retirement plan.
Yeah, and these conversations with you, I have gathered very quickly that you do need an expert if you're avoiding that, because you can save yourself money, taxes as you mentioned, and if you plan correctly, and that's what Warren Wealth Management does so very well. Okay, Retirement Prep 101. You always come in with a topic. So are these basics to make sure you're covered before you hit retirement? Are you asking right now, are you looking for people who are getting close to retirement? Is that who we're talking to here?
Well, we're talking to, yes, people who are in that retirement red zone, which is that 3-year period right before you're about to retire. But then even more importantly, once you are retired, that's basically when a lot of the planning should be implemented. So if you don't have a plan, if you thought you had a plan and you're in the midst of retirement, then it's still good to make sure that everything is aligned and you're going to succeed in retirement.
Okay, so Retirement Prep 101. Where do you want to start? What's number one?
Well, number one, as you're getting close to retirement, or once you start working for that company, you need to make sure that you take advantage of these tax advantage plans. So there's IRAs. You have your traditional IRA. You have your Roth IRA. So the traditional IRA basically means that you put money in, you get a tax break on the front end. Your money grows tax deferred. And then when you pull that money out, then you're taxed on it. That's the traditional IRA. Then you also have your Roth IRA, where you put in after-tax money. You don't get that tax break on the front end. Your money grows tax deferred, and then when you pull that money out, it's tax-free. The contribution limits to an IRA, Roth, or traditional is about $6,000 for people who are under 50. And if you're over 50, then you get a catch-up contribution, a $1,000 catch-up contribution, and so you can max it out at $7,000. Then you also have that 401k. Same thing, traditional 401k, Roth 401k works the same. Traditional, you get the tax breaks on the front end. Roth, you do not. But the contribution limits to your 401k or your company retirement plan is a lot higher. It's $19,500 if you're under 50, and if you're over 50, you can contribute about $26,000. So you need to take advantage of those first to build up that nest egg as you transition into retirement.
A lot of folks, when they think about retirement planning, they should certainly include Social Security. So, but you talk about maximizing Social Security. How do you maximize that?
Well, number one, it's like this. First of all, Social Security is generally supposed to account for about 35 to 40% of your retirement income. And so how can you maximize Social Security? The best way is, number one, to know how much you're going to get. How can you find out what you're eligible for? You can go to ssa.gov, put in some information so they can verify your identity, and then you can kind of see where you stand and what you're bound to get once you retire. So one, start there. Two is you need to understand that how Social Security works. So Social Security, your income benefit is based on your highest 35 years of work. So you become eligible once you get 40 credits or you've worked about 10 years. But what that income is based on is 35 years of working history. So if you work 30 years, you probably have 5 zeros because it's based on those full 35 years. So you need to know that. Now, there's 3 ages that you can claim Social Security. You can claim it, you can take it early at 62. You can take it at full retirement age, which is 66 or 67, depending on the year you were born. and then you can take it at 70. So you got to understand that if you take it earlier than your full retirement age, then you're going to get less than what you would normally get at full retirement age. So if you take it as early as 62, you're going to be getting about 70 cents on the dollar. And then that goes up each and every month as you get closer to that full retirement age, which is 66 or 67. If you wait until after full retirement age, the government gives you an 8% bump each year you wait until you get to age 70. So there are ways that you can maximize it by utilizing some of those key
Wow, I didn't know
strategies.
that. Interesting. Is that the only reason to, if you can, delay retirement, or are there other reasons?
Really, the only reason is to get that bump.
Sure.
I tell you what, too. There's spousal benefits too. So it's good to kind of coordinate your Social Security with your spouse. One good strategy or one good tip is if you can take the lower earning spouse. Sometimes it may be in your best interest to take that lower earning spouse's Social Security earlier or at full retirement age, and then let the higher earning income spouse let their benefit continue to get that 8% bump, and then take that at 70. That way the couple has income during that time, and then they're going to maximize that benefit by waiting until 70 for that higher earning spouse. So that's the way that you can maximize Social Security too.
You also say, consider working a little bit in retirement. So should I be getting ready to cut some grass, or what are we talking about here? A little side hustle?
Yeah, a good side hustle never hurt anyone, right?
That's right.
So, a good way to ease into retirement is to, instead of just jumping feet first, a lot of people, want to work. And, if you can come up with some sort of side hustle, it can create some extra income. If you work 15 hours a week, make $15 an hour, that's an extra $900 a month that you'll have to spend in retirement. And so most people don't fully retire anyway. They tend to stay fairly active, and they want to do something. Of course, some like to just fully, go into get off the grid mode,
right,
and not work. But most of my clients, they tend to want to do something, earn some extra money, just stay active in retirement, and that's a good way to earn some extra income.
Now, you also mentioned relocating, and the only reason I could think to relocate would be for tax advantages, tax purposes. What reasons are there to relocate?
Well, there's a couple of reasons. One is, of course, the tax reason, right? Here we pay 5% Kentucky state tax. Some people, would like to move to a state that has no tax, Florida, Texas, somewhere like that. So that can put more money in your pocket. Of course, cost of living. If you live in a high cost of living area like California, where the average home is, $400,000 or $500,000. If you want to relocate, downsize a little bit, average home cost in Colorado is like $250,000. South Carolina, it's $180,000. So you can put more money in your pocket by potentially relocating for financial reasons and maximize your retirement that way. And then, of course, there's also the family reason. If you want to be closer to family, you can relocate if they live in a different state. Some people like to do that too.
Yeah, this conversation happens to me a lot, and you probably get it too, is you'll be at a cocktail party or a little gathering, and people start saying, why do I need professional help? Well, after talking to you, I'm loaded for bear. I know that it's critical that you get professional like yourself. Yeah. What do you tell folks when they ask you, why do I need someone like you, Marcus?
I say because it's as you transition from working to retirement, it's a totally different ball game. While you were working, while you were in that accumulation phase, all you're focused on is building that nest egg up. Now, once you build that up and you make that transition, now you start to go down, we call it the retirement mountain. And there's so many pitfalls and things that can happen throughout retirement that you need someone to help navigate you down that retirement mountain. And if you have a good professional who knows about investment management, risk management, income planning, Social Security maximization, tax planning, all of those things, then it's only going to lead you to a more successful retirement where you have peace of mind.
All right, let's talk a little bit about this 15-minute phone call with Marcus Warren. I like this. Okay, so you want people that are close to retirement, near retirement, right?
Yes.
And have $250,000 in investable assets. So if you've got $250,000 that you could possibly invest, he will talk to you for 15 minutes. Tell us a little bit about this conversation. What direction will you take it, and how people can get involved?
Yeah, so we call it our 15-minute retirement readiness call, and that's just an introductory call where if you have questions about retirement, we can basically find out where you are, determine where you want to be, and then we can see if we can add value to your specific situation. You know, a lot of people have questions. A lot of people have made that transition to retirement, and they want to know if their money is going to last. They want to know if they've saved enough, and a lot of times it helps just to gain that peace of mind, be able to sleep at night. You know, that 15-minute phone call can't provide that.
And there are different phases of preparing for retirement, right? Yeah. As you get older, I would assume you get a little bit more conservative. You know, someone like yourself who is younger, you can take a few more risks and hopefully get that upside that you're seeking, right?
Yeah, as you move into retirement, people do tend to get a little more conservative with their investments, and a portion of it needs to be conservative, but you also need to have some growth investments. You still have to have some things that are going to give you that growth, because you've worked 35, 40 years. You could potentially be in retirement another 25 to 30 years, so you have to make sure that you have a game plan.
All right. Once again, Warren Wealth Management. You can give them a call. And for folks who say, look, I need a more extended meeting with you, Marcus. I'd like to get one-on-one with you. I want to talk about where I am and get ready. You've told me a lot of things. I was taking notes. I always do with you. Yeah. If someone wants to do that, you'll do that as well, right?
Yeah, absolutely. After that 15-minute phone call, that retirement readiness phone call, if we feel like we can add value, then we will set up another time to meet where we will lay out everything and hopefully get you on the right track.
All righty. Once again, Marcus Warren of Warren Wealth Management. All right, coming up here, why is Pigeon Forge one of America's favorite vacation destinations? You probably already know, but it's getting bigger and better. We'll talk about that next on Wave3 Listens Live.